Good afternoon. You're watching Businessworld Live. I'm Delos Santos. Let's take a look at how the local bourse closed today, Wednesday. Okay, Philippine stocks extend gains for a second day this time with a stronger rally to see shares climb back up to the 6,800 level, an area we last saw back in July. You can see in this chart right here, shares are up by two tenths of 8% to 6,822.15 over a 2 day period. The PSEi has so far caught a 3.5% gain. Now, mirroring that rise are purchases from foreign investors who have been on buying mode for the third straight day, with purchases coming in higher today at 814.6 million pesos. But a positive sentiment on local stocks today is no more evident than in our two telco giants here, in referring to Globe and PLDT. Look at that. Globe, the day's best performer, as you can see in this chart right here, in the bottom chart represented by the blue line. A Globe skyrocketing by 14%. This is a telco's biggest surge in 6 years. Well, PLDT in the top chart right there, represented by the green line, not far, or a bit far behind, but still no easy feat to pull off that 7.8% climb today. Its largest leap yet since March of last year. So what pushed these stocks higher today was Citi just upped its target prices on the two stocks on the back of optimism over the potential value of fintech investments. So for Globe, that's a 31% markup due to a user base of 44 million, while the increase in target price for PLDT is at 14%, owing to their 38 million subscriber base. Citi said likely upcoming monetization exercises via listings or new capital raising should crystallize the value of these two telcos' assets. It upgraded Globe to buy while maintaining PLDT to buy as well. Investors unbothered by domestic developments buying Globe, which ended the day at 2,600 a share, and PLDT priced in at 1,345 apiece. Now, one up and coming REIT player is also unbothered. I'm talking about RL Commercial REIT of Robinson's Land. Well, it started its IPO today, unfazed by the spread of the Delta variant in the country. Chairman Frederick Go says there's a lot of market support for REITs. President and CEO Jericho Go says they're banking on a strong BPO industry, geographically diversified grade A commercial assets, and stable income from long leases, among others. Proceeds from the REIT offering will be used to put up more office buildings, logistics and industrial facilities, as well as residential and other projects. Offer period again runs until September 3. Listing as of now scheduled on September 14. On the table are 3.34 billion secondary shares with over allotment option of as much as 305.1 million shares. Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. The slow rollout of COVID-19 vaccines is seen to cost the global economy $2.3 trillion. That's according to a study by the Economist Intelligence Unit. The Philippine Star reports that the study expects emerging and developing countries to bear the brunt of the losses. This comes as wealthier nations start providing booster shots for their population, while less developed countries struggle to secure supply. The study states that countries failing to vaccinate 60% of their population by mid-2022 will likely suffer the losses. In the Philippines, 13 million Filipinos have been fully vaccinated so far. Still on vaccine news, U.S. manufacturer Moderna is looking to secure authorization to allow their shots for children aged 12 to 17 in the Philippines. The Food and Drug Administration says Moderna has applied for emergency use for teens last August 19. Health experts are studying the data given by Moderna and may come up with a decision by next week. Meanwhile, the country expects 10 million more doses from Sinovac, which makes up the bulk of the country's vaccine inventory. The pandemic is also affecting the energy sector, with 37 power transmission projects hitting a snag. The Department of Energy says 24 of these projects are being implemented in Luzon, 10 are in Visayas, while 3 are in Mindanao. The DOE says the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines had to suspend construction projects to meet health and safety regulations. Among the delayed projects is the Mindanao-Visayas Interconnection Project, which links power grids in the two island groups. The project completion has been pushed back from December this year to December 2022. Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion is standing by his proposal to allow greater mobility for the fully vaccinated, despite the Justice Department's insistence that this might violate Equal Protection Clause. Where does the Trade Department stand on this matter? Let's find out from Undersecretary Ireneo Vizmonte. Good afternoon, Yusek Vizmonte.
Good afternoon.
Okay, you heard that. You heard that bit, sir. The DTI open to this proposal? Again, Presidential Advisor Concepcion saying this may, in fact, should or at least should be considered once 50% of Metro Manila has been vaccinated. He says, why is this going to be discriminatory when we're in the middle of a health emergency? Is the DTI already studying this proposal?
Of course, we're studying options for us to benefit from vaccination, but may not necessarily be the same as what PA Joey Concepcion is proposing. As we, of course, support the position of the Department of Justice that it may be discriminatory. So, but definitely we agree with him that maybe it's not really, we're not yet ready at this time.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say that you are at least studying proposals, can you give us an idea what are the options here that the DTI is looking at as a possible leeway for the fully vaccinated?
Of course, we want the mobility of all citizens, whether vaccinated or not vaccinated. But of course, we want also that the unvaccinated are protected. But we want this to happen not necessarily, or when we have already majority of our population have already been fully vaccinated.
Okay, fully vaccinated nationwide, or are you also looking at the possibility if majority of the National Capital Region, or at least the target population in Metro Manila has been vaccinated 100%, is this something that you are at least considering implementing in NCR?
Maybe on a per location basis. We know that we have already prioritized NCR for vaccination, so definitely they'll reach a bigger percentage earlier than the rest of the population. But all this, of course, we know with the guidance of DOH, as we know, vaccination or our vaccines is under EUA at this point. It's emergency use authorization only, and therefore we have to be cautious about its use. Meaning, we may be safe, meaning from being hospitalized or being severe or critical, but we know that it's still transmissible.
Okay, now Yusek, how are businesses coping with the current round of lockdowns? What sectors were heavily battered, and was there an increase in closures?
Yeah, of course, in this for this period, we know that most of the dine-in services, the personal services are not yet allowed, including for those establishments that prior to MECQ or even ECQ, they are not allowed. But the good thing is, during this period, other retail or non-essential retail are allowed already. Other manufacturing are allowed already. During ECQ, only essential manufacturing are allowed. So a big chunk of our population or are already allowed to go out and work, and they're part of the authorized person outside residence.
Was there more report of closures? Do you have at least a figure here as to how many establishments decided to close shop permanently? DTI conducts a regular survey and nationwide, and recent result of survey revealed that around 2 to 3% are currently closed.
while the rest are either partially closed or fully operational.
Okay, when you say 2 to 3% are closed, are we referring to Metro Manila alone, or is this a nationwide on a nationwide scale?
The survey was conducted nationwide, so it's for all.
Okay. Now, should lockdowns be extended? What's the work around here for the DTI to at least help establishments and small businesses to stay afloat?
Actually, I think the government is moving towards allowing more establishments to operate by having a more liberal or relaxed quarantine, but with granular lockdown in areas where you have cases or more cases. So I think the government will move towards that direction so that workers, establishments can already operate. Meaning we will do more granular lockdowns rather than big area lockdowns.
Okay, so at least that part is clear that possibly come August 31 or September 1st, businesses not included in granular lockdowns may at least be allowed to operate once again. Can you give us an update as well, Yusek, regarding the take-up of loans here for MSMEs?
MSMEs, of course, we have very good turnout for our MSMEs because other than the regular support fund for our MSMEs, our SB Corp has also approved the providing loans to our exporters to finance their shipping. So this is very important at this time. So let me just check I don't have it right now in front of me. But if you allow me some time, then I can give you that information. Maybe I'll
Okay, sure. While you're trying to at least get those figures, let's this time around talk about the safety seal certification here from the DTI. Of course, that's meant to boost consumer confidence. It was launched back in June. How was the reception, and how many applications have you had? And is the validity going to be extended given that most establishments are closed now?
Of course, the validity of our safety seal is good for 6 months. And right now, we have so far approved 21,676 establishments or granted with safety seal. And of course, this is a combined effort of the Department of Tourism, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Interior and Local Government, and our LGUs. So we have reached this number of granted with safety seal.
Okay. Now you mentioned, sir, validity is at 6 months. Given that we've been under lockdown for a couple of weeks now, is that going to be extended for those establishments?
The extension is subject to inspection so that we can have that information and update as to what they are doing, whether they are still complying with the minimum health protocol. So once before the expiry of the safety seal, we're going to conduct the visit. Of course, we're still on a random basis. We're conducting visit as well.
Of course, safety seal certification still not mandatory, but are you looking at the possibility of requiring this for establishments, especially with the current surge in cases?
We are not, of course, considering a mandatory safety seal, considering that it will mean closing them first before they are allowed to open. So that's why it's just on a voluntary basis. But we will, as much as possible, cover all applications so that we'll be able to issue the safety seal for all who wants their establishment to be given this safety seal certification.
Okay, lastly now again, Yusek, let's go back to what we were discussing earlier regarding the take-up of loans here from small businesses. Has that at least seen a surge given that we have been under lockdown for a couple of weeks now?
So far for our CARES program, this is the loans being managed by the SB Corporation. We have what we call the Bayanihan CARES, And so far, we have approved a total of 407 million. And for the what we call Bayanihan travel, this is a component of the Bayanihan intended for tourism. We have 1,063,000,000, and for Bayanihan Heroes, another program, it's 80 million. So a total of 400 million loans already.
Okay, at least around 400 million pesos in loans already taken up by MSMEs to at least support their operations. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Again, Trade Undersecretary Ireneo Vizmonte. Thank you, Sec. And those are the biggest stories this trading day, August 25, 2021. Catch Businessworld live again tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. for the market open and 3:15 p.m. for the market close. I'm Jess Delos Santos, and we are One News. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines.